Welcome back to the Build a Nation Challenge. We are creeping up on our 10th season, almost a decade of success, as we look to the future, with more glory for the Faroe Islands within reach. This right here is our current first-team squad, and it is a very good squad. Last season was proof of that, but we do have some issues to deal with. Firstly, we have 6 foreigners in the squad, and that is too many. We will likely fix this by either selling one of the 2 good wingers or loaning them out, along with Evora, the backup goalkeeper. We also have a slight issue with not having enough homegrown players, but hopefully, that will resolve itself in the future as some of our youth talent moves up into the first team in the coming years. Another challenge is the high wages that better players demand if we were to try and improve the squad quality.
Then you'll say, we're not talking about this or this, we're talking about
free real estate.
For example, the inverted wingback area might need a new player, as Serenen is likely leaving. But from here on out, we need to promote and develop what we already have, or get lucky with new youth signings fitting our needs. We are moving toward focusing more on spending our money on the youth academy. Another change moving forward, we will stop bringing in foreigners for 2 reasons. First, Faroe Island clubs are only allowed to use 4 foreigners. And second, they are extremely hard to loan out to other clubs. I would rather have other clubs sign them directly. Instead, we will focus solely on Nordic players. We still have 3 Champions League matches left in the league phase, and one of those is against Juventus. Is it too much to ask if we could sneak in a draw here? Well, it was a draw all the way up to the 72nd minute, but apparently we might even win it with a goal from Bleiberg. Hell yeah, that is one of, if not the biggest result in our history. And finally, we've come out of a match with fewer expected goals than our opponents and actually gotten a win.
Thank you, boys. Thank you.
We haven't guaranteed the knockout stage yet, but it's very, very close. The transfer window is open for business. But as always, let's start with departures. We have released 7 players, 2 of note. Paul Carlsberg, what a legend he was for us, but it was time to let him go, as I couldn't get him out on loan. Seth Saarinen was not worth the 3,000 wages we paid him, and we will look toward finding a replacement in our youth academy. We have also sold a couple of players for small amounts, all of them foreigners. Among them, Paul Graham, who was a pretty good player for us, and I didn't quite get 1 million for him, but it is what it is. Also, the backup goalkeeper Kenny Evora is leaving. He didn't put a foot wrong, but he's a foreigner.
On day 1, I will launch the largest deportation program in the history of our country.
Once again, we break the record for the number of signings we made. 33 new youth players, amounting to £233,000 paid for them. This brings us to a total of 161 players. As I said previously, I think 200 might be a good number to aim for. Back to the squad planner, as things have changed a lot here. Lots of demotions, lots of promotions, but they are all subject to change if other clubs come in with loan deals for them. Only a few of our players are so important that I would decline loaning them out, such as the captain and Brun Hansen, the vice-captain. To sum up quickly who is demoted, Jugovic, Wendt, and Bjorn Hilmarsson. But as I said, they might end up back in the squad if someone else gets loaned out. New faces? Well, we've got quite a few, starting with the new backup goalkeeper, Andreas de Belstein, who is close in quality to Theodor Kvist. So there will be competition for this spot if he's not loaned out. Gunnar Kleiven is the new 2nd or 3rd option as an inverted wingback, and is also the 3rd choice as a segunda volante. He could be better than any of the other players in those spots. He looks like a pretty good youngster with plenty of time to develop, as he's only 18.
Before I know it, I'm gonna wake up and be 23. And my life's gonna be behind me.
Ole Peterson is our new 2nd choice central defender, with a left foot. He's also going to be a decent 4th choice segunda volante, or even 4th choice central midfielder if needed. Jonas Bindelof is a 3rd choice fullback, and maybe also a 4th choice inside forward. He's unlikely to see much football, and I kind of hope someone comes to pick him up on a loan deal. Soren Stenold is coming up to be the 3rd option in central midfield. He could also go out on loan if anyone wants him. Johnny Lund is going to be the 2nd choice pressing forward, though is definitely more of an advanced forward. He's also going to be the 3rd choice inside forward on the left. Last but not least, The real second choice advanced forward, Christian Andersen, who looks like a pretty big talent with plenty of time to improve, being only 18. If we can manage a win over Juventus, why not Manchester City? Well, let's keep our feet on the ground and just hope we don't get destroyed by 5 or more goals. Though they do look far from their earlier glory days under Pep, so you never know. Yeah, now we do know. They scored after 3 minutes. This is likely going to be a stinker. I can't believe it! I thought only the opponents were allowed this sort of nonsense. First shot of the game for us, and Bleiberg heads it in. It really was too much to hope that we would get all the way to the end. They scored for the second time in the 57th minute. No way this happens. This is the most cheesy thing our team has done in 10 seasons. We actually get another goal in overtime, and we don't deserve it, but we love to see it. Definitely the most disgusting thing our team has done. Four shots, 2 on target. But what a massive result. 2-2. And we are through to the knockouts, as no one can catch us. Who would have thought that we might have a chance to sneak into the top 8 and avoid the first playoffs? Leipzig is the final boss. On paper, I would say they are easier than the last 2, and we are also playing at home, so I kind of think we'll get at least a draw. It took 30 minutes, but then we sneaked one in from a corner. 4 minutes into overtime, our new central defender, unfit and playing for the first time, made a massive blunder, and that led to Leipzig equalizing. Not his fault, as much as it is my choice of putting him into a game like this. In the end, a draw. And maybe not unfair either. It was a very even game, with both teams having a hard time creating any big opportunities. Unfortunately, that's not going to be enough for the top 8. But being number 11 in the Champions League phase is still way better than what we should be able to do after 10 seasons. We got lucky in the draw, maybe the easiest opponent we could get. Not saying it will be easy, but Salzburg is for sure not the worst to be up against. The question is, can we beat them? I doubt it, especially away from home. A draw would be a very good start for us. Oh, okay. That was unexpected. First highlight, and Bosman puts one in at the near post. Unfortunately, it looks like Bleiberg is coming off injured. Well, maybe we're just better than them, as 4 minutes later, we go up by 2, with Fredriksson putting one in too. Straight into the second half, and we get yet another corner goal. If they let in 1, they often let in 2 on those near post routines. Bosman bossed them around, but he also gave away a penalty and got himself booked, and no chance for Theodor Kvist to catch that one. 83 minutes in, and Benyaya pops up in the box to give us a 3-goal lead again. How about a debut goal in overtime? Sure, we'll take that too. Lindelof gets his first goal for the club. Brilliant. Full time, 5-1 to us in the away game. I shouldn't be shocked anymore, but it still seems slightly crazy to see the team do this well, even with a lot of our new players contributing to the result. Second leg, and all we need to do is not let in 4 goals, and we'll win the playoff match of the knockouts. I think we can do it. 20 minutes in, and Bleiberg steals the ball from their defender and is home free to make it a 5-goal lead. That probably seals the deal. Not quite. Just 3 minutes later, a good through ball, and they bring one back, though I still don't think they'll mount a comeback. Second half, they are definitely going for it and score again, but they still need to score 3 more times just to make it even. If this was 20 minutes earlier, I would be worried, but them scoring in the 84th minute, with still 2 to go, is unlikely to happen. Full time, 6-4 on aggregate. A very strange game, to be honest. We let in 3 goals with them only having 1.48 expected goals, so it might oddly be one of our worst performances in the Champions League. But of course, we can be extremely happy with getting into the next stage. I forgot to mention, when we get this far, money is splashing in like a mountain waterfall. Probably more than we can spend, but we'll just try our best to do so. Another season starts, another Super Cup in the bag. And of course, we are looking to keep our record intact by going invincible for a 3rd season in all competitions in the Faroe Islands. Round of 16 draw, and we've only got big boys in here. Obviously, that's how it should be. Manchester City. It is. Well, we know them quite well by now. having met them 3 times before. Okay, so back to reality. Last time, we got away with an extremely lucky draw against them. This time, if we can do anything close to that, I would be extremely happy. We do it again. These giants must hate playing us by now. 73 minutes in, and we take the lead. Bleiberg smashing it in. We might have awoken the sleeping giant. They hit back 4 minutes later. I'm clearly a better tactician than Pep. That tiki-taka stuff he can keep to himself. We are luring them out and hitting them on the counter.
I have absolutely no idea what's going on.
Oh my god, what is happening? Bleiberg finds our own academy player Holden, who scores in the 89th minute to increase our lead by 2 goals. The fans must be going crazy. I know I am.
Seems a little crazy.
Full time, 3-1 to us. I think we broke the game.
Game over!
Intruder destroyed.
Just imagine Pep's face when the referee whistles for the last time.
It's so difficult. Take responsibility, my friends.
Yes, we do have a second leg, but this is truly crazy, even with a good tactic. This is beyond what I imagined a team like ours could do. Surely they are going to win it in the second leg. I can't imagine that we can actually knock them out. That would be absolutely crazy. No, what is this? What is happening in this game? We scored again, now to a 3-goal lead in the 2nd minute.
What?
I'm still so shocked that I don't even care that they clawed one back from a corner. Very, very late in overtime, they also got a 2nd goal. But I think it's over for them. That's it, 3-4 on aggregate. I honestly don't quite understand how we are this good.
That happened, and we all let it happen.
The biggest result in the history of the club, and I imagine it will be hard to reproduce another campaign like this in the next couple of years. But then again, maybe we just become the best club in Europe.
My mother always said, be careful what you wish for, because you'll get it. And then people get jealous and try and take it away from you.
I don't think that's how that goes.
The transfer window is closing. We only brought in a couple more players, but more importantly, we have loaned out 45 of our players, mostly to the Meisteridilden, and maybe half of those loan deals are running for 2 years. It takes a long time to do it manually, but it will pay off in the long run to have these players develop into better quality within these clubs. In the quarterfinals, we have drawn Liverpool, another British team to slay, I suppose.
Icarus felt the thrill of freedom. Ignoring his father's advice, he climbed higher and higher.
Zidane is in charge of Liverpool now. Alright, I don't think that will make it any harder, but I guess from here on out, we should just expect the unexpected when it comes to results and where this team might go, even in a quarterfinal of the Champions League. This time, it might possibly be too big a mouthful, as we concede after just 4 minutes of play. Yeah, this looks like the end station. Thuram makes it 2-0 after 7 minutes. We also gave away a penalty, which made it 3 goals for them. In the end, they win quite comfortably, 3-0, though with how we have performed this campaign, it's a very small door to leave open. We did get chances, and in the second leg at home, no one should rule out a small comeback.
Daedalus, devastated, mourned his son's reckless ambition.
Here we go. Second leg. Can we do it? Well, let's keep true to our word. Expect the unexpected. Okay, fair enough. They only needed a minute to do the expected thing, scoring again. A comeback is definitely not on. We need to score 5 goals now, and that's not going to happen. Kanade makes us suffer a bit more, but at this point, we just need to enjoy being in a quarterfinal. Okay, Liverpool, take a knee. That might be the goal of the season in the Champions League. Benyaya is a bit of a specialist when it comes to beautiful goals. 6-1 on aggregate at full time. Our long but glorious campaign has come to an end.
It was a tragic reminder that while dreams can lift us, we must also heed the wisdom of those who care for us. Know your limits and listen to wisdom. Overconfidence can lead to tragic consequences.
We can be incredibly proud, and it does give us hope that in the future, we could go all the way, no matter how insane that sounds, to think about a Faroe Island club taking home the trophy with the big ears.
Wow! The land of make-believe!
You might be wondering how much money that campaign ended up giving us. Well, not quite sure, but I know we are rich. Actually, filthy rich. and I doubt we will have any issues when it comes to our youth academy in terms of wages. Though I would like to keep them low, as it helps with loaning them out. Our long 73 win streak came to an end in this league game against Itraffalag. I suppose the invincible season is still a thing, but that long run of wins will likely not be broken ever again. We got through half of the season, and are again finding ourselves in June, where the summer transfer window opens up again. We are top of the table, of course, with that one draw being the only outlier, though something very different this season is the rest of the table, where Klaksvik finds themselves in 5th place currently, and Vikingur in 2nd, which is a rather big surprise. This time around, we got 8 new signings for £149,000, but more are coming. Coefficient points, it was a massive campaign, and we ended up with 9 and 250 points. That should help us quite a bit over the next 5 years. We did move up 4 places to 26th on the list, but that's not changing anything in terms of places we get. The next step is at 23, and then the big one when we push into the top 15, where we get an extra team to qualify with, but we are still a few years away from that. Our first game in the next campaign in Europe is going to be against a Maltese team, Hibernians FC. That's something new. I have promoted a new player to the first team, Matthias Jakobsen, who is one of our own academy players and has already been capped 18 times for the National League. I think it's time for him to show what his 17 finishing can do. He will be replacing a fairly poor performing Johnny Hjortsjölund, who is still a big talent but might need to show something out on loan before he comes back into our first team again. Another one being moved up to the first team is Kristoffer Quisvensen, who has shown promising numbers for our second team playing as a winger. Jorn Vesnes, on the other hand, has had a fairly weak season so far compared to what our wingers should be able to do, so he will move in the other direction. A Ukrainian team has offered £300,000 for Andrei Morozov, and he is not a happy guy. Wanting a new contract on 5,000 wages, which obviously I'm not cool with. So while we will lose an important player, we also get rid of an unhappy foreigner.
Get out of here!
Styrmir Orn Wilhelmsen is getting promoted, though he is only the 3rd choice option as a fullback, with both Gravgard and Bindelov ahead of him in the picking order. Another set of 7 players are joining the youth academy this time, all of them free transfers. Maybe some of them are slightly too good, as I have a hard time getting the best of our youth players out to other Faroe Island clubs. First leg in the qualifier, starting at home, and I expect this to be a big win. We start with Bosman with a strong header from the corner. Good, let them come. Second goal, Noah Menini after 14 minutes. Bleiberg gets the 3rd. He also gets the 4th goal from a penalty, and he gets his hat trick in the first half. Love to see it. He's turning this into a massacre now. 4th goal by Bleiberg. Well, this might be a new record. 5 goals from the same man in the first half. The 8th goal comes from Noah Menini. I love that Segunda Volante role. Also, a typical Benyaya goal, of course, who fancies himself a long shot. Unlike him, he also scored a fairly standard goal, which marked our 10th goal of the game. I doubt it will be easier for them after this red card. Henrik Holland came in, and he is scoring the 11th goal. He also assists another substitute in Peterson, who make it 12-0, which is also the end result. I think it is fair to say this was a bit of a shooting tent, and I also believe that these types of games, much like the Faroe Island League, are becoming somewhat interesting to watch, unless something crazy happens. So from here on out, we will skip in games like these. Though I do love goals and winning big, I think what makes the most sense to do is to highlight only important games and results, as something like this will happen often in the qualifier. The transfer window is closing again, and we managed to get another 27 players out on loan, mostly to Faroe Island clubs on 2-year deals, so I'm pretty happy with that. And I am also planning to send out another 30 or so to other clubs, who are not picked up by Faroe Islands clubs, to give them some first-team football for half a season. Oh no, we got a curveball. We have received an offer for Captain Fantastic, and he need a lot of convincing to stay. Hopefully we can manage, as I have no plans on selling him for this sort of amount. This does not look good. Well, I think we are going to get away with it, unless they are willing to pay us 140 million. As that is what we have agreed is the minimum bid with Patrick Hutchgarg. Yeah, they did not like that at all. So we will keep him, unless someone is coming in with an offer. I have forgotten about a rule. We can only loan out a maximum of 6 players to foreign clubs. If the player is above the age of 22, well, it is what it is. I guess we need to focus even more on very young players, as it will be hard to keep everyone above that age happy at the club if they are not getting playtime. Second leg against Hibernians was also a shooting tent, even with a full rotation. No surprises, we won 19-0 on aggregate. We got Karabag in the second qualifier, and I expect this to be fairly easy too.
Oh, I see it. Oh, this is going to be easy.
And it was a very easy first leg away from home. We won it 8-0 without any drama.
Hello there.
Captain Hujbjerg scored a fantastic goal, and hopefully not the last. Second leg went pretty much the same way, just with one extra goal, making it 17-0 on aggregate. In the third round, we will meet Malmo, which is a very unlucky draw for us, and if we manage to squeeze through that, we will get PAOK in the playoffs. First leg against Malmo, and I do expect this one to be a close affair, or at least a lot closer than our other qualifier games. Or maybe not. Bleiberg is scoring the first goal after just 4 minutes of play. First highlight for them, also the first shot, and of course a set-piece goal. All even again. Anderson had 2 goals ruled out as offside, but third time's the charm, as we take the lead again. 84 minutes in, and he gets his second of the day. And just to make sure we got a nice 3-goal lead before the second leg, Kozlov scores in the overtime. You know what? Let's just finish it right here and now, with Anderson scoring his hat-trick. Full time, 5-1. And in the end, it was not really close at all. They actually only had that one highlight, so I think we can just skip that next match. As the Swedish champions is honestly nowhere near a match for the mighty champions of the Faroe Islands. Just like I thought, the second leg was more of the same, and the aggregate is 8-2. They were slightly better, getting 2 highlights and a goal out of it, but there was only going to be one winner in this Nordic duel. Time for the playoff against PAOK. On paper, it should be an even match, but I got a feeling we will come out as the winner. Nonetheless, we will see how this goes. Fullback finding the inverted wing back, who both contribute inside their box area and open play. Yes, I do believe we will win this. Bleiberg made it 2, just a few minutes later. Captain Fantastic making it 3 from a narrow angle, after just 30 minutes. As always, their first highlight, first shot, and they score. I'm not even getting either mad or surprised anymore. Bosman, with maybe the most lucky deflected goal of the season. I really like this goal. I have changed our throw-ins to long throws. But this one got more to do with how perfect this set of one-touch combinations ends up as an easy goal for Bindelov. We do not score many direct free kick goals, so a pleasant surprise to see Cliven smash one in from quite far out. There we go, full-time 6-1, and I think we can easily skip the second leg. No way this team is going to beat us with more than 5 goals when we play them at home. It happened again. We won the league while not on the pitch. No podium or celebration to watch again this season. Second leg against PAOK was not very different from the first. Guess what? They scored again in their first highlight with the first shot.
What? What the fuck?
Yes, that is a thing. Anyhow, we win 11-2 on aggregate, so easy.
Easy lemon squeezy.
And we will be playing in the Champions League once again. And the fixtures are in, so with how much improved and good our team have become, we could potentially get points in any of these games. Tottenham, Chelsea, and Barcelona, obviously the 3 hardest on paper, but I fancy our chances to get into the knockout stages again. A bit of curveball here mid-season, and just before Champions League starts. Jordi Bosman has accepted terms with Juventus, and we will let him go for a small fee of 1.9 million.
Yay! Yes!
Juventus.
Many.
Juventus.
Many. Go f*** yourself, Cartman. Oh, it feels so good on my skin.
Decent money for us, but also possible our best central defender leaving us. We have signed 4 of our youth academy players from this year's intake. I hope this will only get better. Alright, so the first match in the Champions League should be one of the easier we have. A Nordic duel against Molde, and we are favorites to win it. Anderson has scored a lot of goals, and he is not going to miss a chance to score another one, going one-on-one with their goalkeeper. Full time 1-0, plenty of chances to score again, they just never materialized. But 3 points is 3 points, and also a clean sheet is important. Not much to complain about. I always forget about them. Thankfully, the results won't disappear on us. So I must have misunderstood something about coefficient points, because we got all of our 3 teams locked in the second round. I'm actually not quite sure what this spot right here means, because all of our 3 teams is in the Conference League second qualifier. So unless that is negated by us taking the spot through the cup wins and not being sorted down to the second in the league, it might be a bug within the database or something I do not understand about the structure. Anyhow, Klaksvíkar won their match, so that is the first time we got a team through to the third round. B36 lost against a very hard opponent in Dynamo Kyiv. Unlucky draw for them. And Vikingur also managed to get to the third round. So not too bad at all. But that is also where the journey ended for both of them. Not the luckiest draws either against Göteborg and Celje. But honestly, we might want to try and lose the cup on purpose to leave that spot open for one of the other teams, as I'm pretty sure it is a bug. We have another Nordic duel to win in the Champions League. This time, the mighty Lions of Denmark. Well, hopefully we can do a bit of poaching and slay some exotic animals today. This counts as an own goal, but I think we should give all the credit to Captain Fantastic. There we go. The lion is bleeding. But the lion bites back in the second half, so all back to even, and maybe not completely undeserved either. This one is going to hurt. I think the lion took a big bite here. This is a bit of a goalkeeper drop by Theodor Kvist, who looked like one who lost an arm to the lion. And to make it worse, this is the 95th minute. You go to the lion's den, you must be prepared to get bitten.
This is Tao. He's about 14 years old. He doesn't like the cold as much as the tigers, do ya? But he's choosing to be outside, and if it gets really cold, he can go into his den in the back. Right, Tao?
Well, we might not have lost our life, but I feel like we were performing way below what we have otherwise seen in the past 2 seasons. Lazio is visiting us. It looks like a pretty decent team, and the media also put them as favorites, so I'm not quite sure how this will turn out. It does look like they are the better team out there, and they also get their prize after 45 minutes. We might not deserve it, but we also went 2 behind after 73 minutes on a penalty. Full time, 2-0 for Lazio. I don't know, it seemed like a very even game, with them creating the best chances, so it is not quite undeserved they come out as the winners. I would say that our performances levels have slightly dipped here toward the end of the season. We won the cup again, and the only reason I'm not throwing this is of course our opponent Scala, who happens to already be relegated. It does not make a lot of sense to me to let a relegated team get into the Europa League. So we win the treble once again, and get 3 of the other best teams, who all got 46 points, to try and make things happen in the Conference League qualifier again next season. Antonio Conte's Barcelona. That sounds strange to say, but that is what we are up against. Still a lot of recognizable names after 10 seasons, so I think it is fair to say that we are not the favorites for this one. Yeah, this could turn into a bit of dumpster fire. 1-0 after 3 minutes. Lamine Yamal made it 2. We look pretty far from the knockouts right now. We are not giving away massive chances, but they score on every highlight, so not great at all. Second half was no better, as we also gave away penalties now. But Theodor Kvist denied them their best opportunity yet. Full time 3-0 to Barcelona. Not a complete disaster, but we only had 1 highlight, and we let in goals on very low expected goals opportunities, which is never great, but also shows the difference in player quality. Last match of the season, Partizan, and this is the easiest game on paper, and we absolutely need this to be a win to have any realistic chances to get into the knockouts. I would even go so far to say that if we do not win this campaign would be a failure already. Alright, straight off the bat, 38 seconds and Anderson is putting us into the lead. Don't mind if he does. Well, and here I thought it would be easy. No, things will not be easy this year. Back to even after 4 minutes.
Well, Lottie frickin' da!
Mr. Anderson is on some kind of mission to be our new highest top goal scorer ever. We take the lead again.
Hear that, Mr. Anderson? That is the sound of inevitability.
Another interesting figure this season is Stenold, who is taking over as the main central midfielder, and he is capable of some spectacular goals too. Anderson, with the easiest goal this season, tapped it over the line to give him a hat-trick after 21 minutes.
Mr. Anderson, welcome back. We missed you.
Alright, I was wrong. This might be the easiest goal he scores in the season. This man's a goal-scoring machine.
Okay, you have some skill.
Okay, now we can relax. We are 5 goals ahead after just 37 minutes. Henrik Holden has been one of the better players this season, and it is great to see our academy players stepping up to the big table. Fredriksson had quite a few injuries this season, so nice to see him also tap one over the line again. Full time, 8-1 to us. That is a very good way to end the season. Massive win, and very much a needed win. And it does bring us into the knockout places with 6 points on the table after 5 games. In some other news, a small update from the national team. I actually didn't know that there was a relegation playoff in the European League system, but unfortunately, Armenia beat them, so they ended up in the lowest division again. And that did not go all that great either. They only managed to win against Liechtenstein, and ended the year on 4 points at the bottom, so that is where they will stay. Much like last season, we have a lot of players above 740 in rating, 9 players in total, and also like last season, only 2 players below 7, so it's hard to complain too much about how they are performing overall. Highest average player is, very unexpectedly, third choice winger, Kristoffer Quais Svensson, who knocked out 7.93 ratings in his 12 games, with 5 goals and 9 assists. That is pretty outstanding. Christian Andersen is not only the top goal scorer this season, he has broken all records with his 37 goals in all competitions in his first season for us. I thought he was good, but I did not see that coming. Henrik Holden did not play more than his captain this season, but the games he did play was enough to make him the top assist maker with 21 of those. He has definitely stepped up, just like Hochberg did, and we now have 2 of the absolute best inside forwards with a Faroe Island passport. It would be unfair to not mention Bleiberg, who also had a very good season with 22 goals and 10 assists, but also had quite a few injury problems, making him only play 26 games this season. I promoted our academy player Matthias Jakobsen mid-season, and like his other striker partners, I think he deserved a shout-out, as he also did way better than expected with 13 goals, 3 assists and 7.43 rating in his 22 games, where he only started 12 of those. There it is, another season done, and a keen eye might also notice that the stars on this screen are moving in the right direction. We are now considered a national reputable team with great training facilities, good youth facilities, a first-class recruitment, and impressive junior coaching. So I do hope we will see some better academy players soon enough.